Buongiorno. I'm going to continue with the Coffee Break Italian series. I'm also doing the Pimsleur Speak and Read Central Italian, and I figured they would kind of complement each other, but I gotta say the Coffee Break Italian is not as it's more like you're listening to somebody give a lecture than as opposed to as interactive. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not as interactive as the Pimsleur. There are several times where the student just happens to ask, the perfect question. They just happen to mix up a pronunciation that the Italian speaker was, I'm glad you did that type, feel to it. It is obviously very scripted. Now, I completely get that Pimsleur is scripted too, but this one, considering you're supposed to be learning along with the learner, seems... I'll put it like this. You're listening to this learner, and she's going through just flawlessly and picking them up, and you're thinking, I get the idea she knows Italian before she starts, or she is reading these off of a script. Be that as it may, I'm assuming it's very useful, and we're going to continue on. This is lesson 4, so I hate to judge, we're 3 lessons in, but that's very much the impression you get, that you're following along to a scripted entertainment. It's almost like watching a Dora the Explorer. Alright, well, here we go.
Coffee Break Italian, episode 4.
Love the music.
Buongiorno a tutti e benvenuti a Coffee Break Italian. Io sono Mark.
Ciao, io sono Francesca.
And I'm Katie.
How are we all today? Come stai, Francesca?
Benissimo. E tu, Mark?
Sto bene, grazie. E come stai, Katie?
Sto molto bene, grazie.
Perfetto. Well, thank you to all our listeners for your comments and reviews so far. It's great to know that Coffee Break Italian is already reaching a worldwide audience of Italian learners. Do keep your comments coming. We'd love to hear how you're enjoying the course.
And coming up at the end, we will be telling you how you can access a sample lesson of our premium materials. So stay tuned.
So, Mark, what's coming up in today's lesson?
Well, in today's lesson, we're going to be taking what we've learned so far a little further. We can say I'm from, but today we're going to be learning how to say I live in, and also add in some other useful phrases. Allora, siete pronti? Are you ready? To say yes, you say sì. Allora, siete pronti?
Sì!
Cominciamo!
So, Mark, just before we begin properly, so far we've learned sto bene, sto male, but how do you say I'm not well using that negative?
Well, it's actually very straightforward in Italian. All you need to do is put a non before the verb. So in that case, the verb is sto. So to say I am well, sto bene. To make it I am not well, or I'm not feeling that great, we would say non sto bene.
Non sto bene. So is that similar to non c'è male?
It is, exactly. It's that same non. Non is the negative form in Italian when it comes before a verb. Non sto bene, non sto benissimo. Non sto male, I'm not that bad. Or non c'è male, there isn't badness generally. Okay? So non is what we use for negatives.
Okay, so if that's the case, can I use that with other phrases we've learned as well? So, for example, I'm thinking about sono scozzese, non sono italiana.
That's exactly right, Katie. And in actual fact, that's what we need to do with language. We need to take the little elements that we know and combine them in order to manipulate the language and to to make sentences that perhaps we haven't learned yet. It's not about learning a series
That's
of
a really
phrases
good
off by
point,
heart.
Katie.
It's about understanding how the language works, and that's very important to us here on Coffee Break Italian. So, good question. Buona domanda. Now, this negative form will come back in some of the things that we're going to be talking about now.
What a
Last time
surprise.
we spoke about nationalities. How to say, I am Scottish, I am Italian.
Sono
And we
scared.
also learned the question,
Scared.
where are you from? Francesca, can
Dove
you
vai?
remind us how you say that question?
Di dove sei?
Di dove sei?
Let's try repeating it again after Francesca.
Di dove sei?
Di dove sei?
Di dove sei?
Di dove
And of
sei?
course, you need to repeat it in between Francesca and Katie. Let's try it one more time. Where are you from? And this is the informal version.
Di dove
Di
sei?
dove sei?
Di dove sei?
Di dove sei?
Di dove
So
sei?
literally, from where are you?
They let you
Now,
repeat
there's
it once,
also
really.
a formal version of that question. Can you remember what that was?
Di
Francesca?
dove-
Di dov'è?
Di dove?
Di dove?
Di dove?
Excelente. Now we need to also remember some of the responses to this question. So I'm going to put Katie on the spot here. Hope that's okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to answer the question, di dove sei, using some different nationalities. And of course our listeners can join in too. So first one, di dove sei, I want you to say, I am English.
Sono inglese?
Sono inglese.
Sono inglese. Okay. What about I am Canadian?
Sono canadese.
Sono canadese.
Sono canadese.
Sono
Now,
canadese.
those ones both use the ese ending, so they don't change. Katie, if you were Italian, how would you say I am Italian?
Italiana. Sono
Would it be
Italiana.
sono italiana?
Sono
Perfetto.
Italiana.
And how would I say I'm Italian?
Sono
You
Italiano.
would say sono italiano.
Of course. So we change the ending
they don't really leave a
depending on
place for
whether
you to repeat.
it's a male or female person talking. Now, let's think about this question and answer and see if we can change it slightly. Because what I would like you to do now is answer the question, Katie, sei italiana?
Sì.
Oh, so you suddenly become Italian? So sei italiana means are you Italian? We're using that sei, are you, and then putting the adjective or the nationality after that. Sei italiana?
How do you say no?
Okay, no is no.
No.
So how do you say no, I am not Italian?
No, non sono italiana.
Perfetto. So we're using that non again in there. The non for the negative. Let's try some more of these. Katie, sei australiana?
No, non sono australiana.
Let me hear that again, Katie.
What a shock.
No, non sono australiana.
Katie, could you say no for me, please?
No.
Aha, that's much better. In Italian is no as opposed to no.
No. Is that better?
Yes, much better, Katie.
Okay.
Excellent. It's wonderful having Francesca here, who's very particular about her pronunciation, indeed all our pronunciation of Italian. So, no, non sono australiano, or in your case, australiana. Let's try a few more of these. Katie, sei francese?
So you're just listening.
No, non sono francese. Is that French by any chance?
It is indeed, yeah, French, francese.
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 Okay, so you're not French. Sei cinese?
Cinese.
No, no. Non sono cinese.
No,
Brava,
no,
Katie.
sono cinese.
So you're not Chinese either.
No.
Sei austriaca?
No, non sono austriaca.
No, no.
Yes, you're not Austrian. Sei italiana?
No, non sono italiana. Sono scozzese.
Perfetto. So we've got this construction. No. Non sono your first nationality or the wrong nationality. Sono the correct nationality. So in my case, no. Non sono canadese, sono scozzese. Francesca, can you give us an example for you? Ad esempio, sei svizzera.
No, non sono svizzera, sono italiana.
So have you worked out what svizzera or
Swiss.
svizzero in my case would
Swiss.
be?
Could it be Swiss?
Esatto. So Swiss, svizzero, svizzera. So one more time, Francesca, sei svizzera?
No, non sono svizzera, sono italiana.
Eccellente. Allora, Francesca, sei italiana?
Sì?
Sei di Milano?
No, non sono di Milano, sono di Trieste.
Okay, so we're using the same construction in a different situation. No, non sono di Milano, sono di Trieste. Ma Francesca, tu non sei di Trieste?
No, non sono di Trieste, sono di Torino.
Ah,
Mark, did you say something like ma at the beginning of that?
I did.
But?
Yeah, the word ma means but. It's a very useful word in Italian. I said, but Francesca, you're not from Trieste. Ma Francesca, tu non sei di Trieste. Try repeating ma.
Ma,
Ma.
molto bene.
Okay, today we have a new question for you. It's similar to a question that we've already learned because it uses one of the same words, and that word is dove. What does dove mean?
Where?
It means where.
Yeah, so this question is dove abiti?
Where do you live?
Dove abiti?
Dove abiti?
And can you guess what it might mean? Those of you who have done some French might well work this one out.
I think it might mean where do you live?
Exactly. So the verb abitare is to live. Dove abiti?
Dove abiti?
So Katie, have a listen to
They
this
don't leave any
conversation
space
between
for you.
Francesca and me. Francesca, dove abiti?
Abito a Firenze. E tu, Mark, dove abiti?
Io abito a Glasgow. So Katie, you've been hearing there a conversation about where I live and where Francesca lives. So how do you say I live in?
I think you said abito a.
Esatto. So you live, and the question where do you live is abiti.
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 I live abito.
Abito.
So I would say abito a Glasgow. Dove abiti, Katie?
Abito.
Abito a Glasgow. So can I
Article.
say anch'io abito a Glasgow?
Benissimo. So I also live in Glasgow. Anch'io abito a Glasgow. Or if you also lived in Florence, like Francesca, you could say
Anch'io abito a Firenze.
Io.
perfetto.
Abito.
I've just said abito a Glasgow, and how do I say I live in Glasgow in Scotland?
Okay, in that situation, the word for in changes slightly because when we're talking
Abito
about a
a
town,
Glasgow.
it's abito a. Abito
Abito
a
a
Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Abito a Firenze.
In
Abito a
Scotsese.
Milano. But when we're talking about a country, the word for in
Is
becomes in.
in.
So I would say
Abito a
Glasgow.
in
Scotia.
Scozia.
Try saying the word for Scotland again. Scotia.
Scotia.
Scozia.
So I'm saying abito a Glasgow in Scozia.
Abito a Glasgow.
Abito a
In
Glasgow in Scozia.
Scozia.
Francesca, dove abiti?
Abito a Firenze, in Italia.
Francesca's already explained that word before to us. Italia for Italy. Try saying it again.
Italia.
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 So let's try saying the whole sentence. I live in Florence, in Italy.
Abito a Firenze, in Italia.
In Italia. Oh, they left space.
Abito a Firenze in Italia.
Abito a
Katie, I
Firenze
noticed
in
you did
Italia.
something that my students very often do. You said Firenze instead of Firenze. Can you repeat Firenze for me?
Firenze.
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 So it's more of a s sound.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Firenze.
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 Okay, let's learn some more countries because I'm sure that everyone listening doesn't live necessarily in Scotland or Italy. So Francesca, can you say the countries in Italian as I say them in English, and then we'll get everyone repeating, including Katie. So first of all, let's learn England.
Inghilterra.
Inglaterra.
Inghilterra.
Inglaterra.
And what about Ireland?
Irlanda.
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 Canada?
Canada.
Canada.
È facile.
Sì.
Canada.
Canada.
Okay. What about Australia?
Australia.
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 And one final one, the United States, the USA.
Stati Uniti.
Stati Uniti.
Stati Uniti.
Stati Uniti.
Now, we left that one to the last because there's something that we have to explain about Stati Uniti. We actually have the same situation in English. If you think about it, we say, I live in Italy, I live in Scotland, I live in Australia, I live in Canada, but I live in the United States. Now, this situation is a little different in Italian because you don't say abito in Stati Uniti. That would be wrong. What you have to say is this.
Abito negli Stati Uniti.
So we must apologise to other American listeners who have to learn this new, slightly more complicated phrase. Let's hear it again.
Abito negli Stati Uniti.
It's spelled N-E-G-L-I. So that GL is the same GL that you hear in the word tagliatelle. So it's a very common sound in Italian, but in this word it's pronounced negli. Negli. It's like writing N-E-L-Y-I, if you like. Let's try saying the whole sentence
that helped.
again.
That was
I
very
live
helpful.
in the United States.
Abito negli
Abito negli Stati Uniti.
Stati Uniti.
Abito negli Stati Uniti.
Abito negli
Perfetto.
Stati Uniti.
Dove abiti is the informal version.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a formal version of that question as well?
Yes, the formal version would be dove abita.
Dove abita.
Dove abita.
Dove
And of course, the
abita.
answer would be the same because you're saying I live, not you live. You only need to
negli
think about the formality
Stati Uniti.
if you're talking about you. So, abito, I live.
Abito.
Abiti, you live, informal. Abita, you live in the formal version. Now, before we finish the lesson today, I'd like to take this a little further, and I'd like to think about the idea that you are from somewhere, but you live somewhere else. And this is a very common situation. For example, I could say, I am from Glasgow, but I live in London. Sono di Glasgow, ma abito a Londra. Now you remember the word ma that we used earlier, but. So I am from Glasgow, but I live in London. Sono di Glasgow, ma abito a Londra. Francesca, what would you say?
I would say sono di Torino, ma abito a Glasgow.
So Francesca's from Turin, but she lives in Glasgow. Okay, Katie, let's imagine that you are originally from Reykjavik, but you live in Dublin.
Ok. Sono di Reykjavik, ma abito a Dublino.
Okay, let's add one more word in here, and that word is a lovely word. It's adesso.
Adesso.
It means now. So we can say, I am from Oslo, but now I live in Rome. Try saying that, Katie.
Sono di Oslo, ma adesso abito a Roma.
Perfetto. So, ma adesso, but now. Sono di Washington, ma adesso abito a Dallas. And remember, we can also add in the countries. So, putting together everything that we know, I could say, sono americano, sono di Chicago, ma adesso abito a Firenze, in Italia. So what would that mean, Katie?
I think that would mean I'm American, I come from Chicago, but now I live in Florence, in Italy.
In Italy, in Italia. Okay, let's try one more here. I'm going to make it tricky for you. We'll give you a new town here, a new city, and that city is Paris. Paris in Italian is?
Parigi.
Parigi.
So, Katie, how would you say, I am French from Paris, but now I live in Seattle in the United States?
Oh man, that was my turn.
Sono francese di Parigi, ma adesso abito a Seattle, negli Stati Uniti.
Molto bene.
Benissimo.
È tutto per oggi. It's all for today. We hope you have enjoyed it, and we will be practicing more next time when we will be learning how to introduce members of our family.
Fantastic. Now, this audio lesson is just one element of the Coffee Break Italian course. We also offer video lessons, lesson notes, and bonus audio materials to help you make faster progress. All of this forms the premium version of the course. If you'd like to get a sample of the premium content, you can do so by going to coffeebreakitalianplus.com. That's Coffee Break Italian Plus. coffeebreakitalianplus.com, where you'll be able to download a sample video, bonus audio, and lesson notes.
It's been great to see all of your comments on the Facebook page so far, and this week, why don't you post a photo of your own town or city and add a comment using the new phrases you've learned today. You can join us on the Facebook page at facebook.com/Coffee Break Italian.
And if you are on Twitter, we are at Learn Italian.
Ok, è tutto per oggi. Grazie mille e arrivederci.
Ciao!
Arrivederci!
This is a production of the Radiolingua Network.
Let them get all their plugs in.
At radiolingua.com.
Okay. Again, the problem is when they actually pause to let you do it, it's kind of unexpected. And the difference between that, like I said, you're listening in on somebody else's conversation, whereas Pinflar feels like you're doing the lesson. But I will say that these people with the Facebook, the Twitter, the Plus, the video, they seem to be able to keep you engaged if you're willing to go, more than just drive and listen. So I definitely see them having their benefit. But I'm going to keep listening to them. I mean, it by no means hurt. The more exposed you are to the language, the better off you are. So, and you're getting something out of it, I believe, especially if you really engage with it. Well, that was lesson 4 of Coffee Break Italian. Until next time, arrivederci.